Welcome to Leadership from the Heart, the podcast that dives deep into the world of operational focus leadership. I'm your host, Romie, and I'm thrilled to have you join us on the journey of discovery, growth, and transformation. In each episode, we'll explore the essential principles of effective leadership that not only drive results, but touch the very core of human connection. At Leadership from the Heart, we believe that leadership is not just a title, it's a commitment to inspire, empower, and guide with authenticity and compassion. Welcome, dear listeners, to another enlightening episode of Leadership from the Heart. I'm your host, Romie, and today we're jumping into the art of navigating change and uncertainty. At Leadership from the Heart, we're dedicated to helping leaders build and rebuild cultures, unlock authentic power, and embrace people-first leadership. Change is an inevitable part of leadership, and in today's episode, we'll explore strategies and insights to help you thrive in times of uncertainty. So let's get started. Change is constant in the world of leadership, and it often brings along a sense of uncertainty, whether it's a shift in market dynamics, a reorganization, or a global crisis. Having most recently gone through the pandemic, we can all undoubtedly say that we have experience navigating through change and uncertainty. As leaders, we must be prepared to navigate these challenges with grace and resilience. But how do we do that? Navigating change starts with a mindset shift. Embrace uncertainty as an opportunity for growth and learning. Understand that it's okay not to have all the answers immediately. I like to think of this as using a GPS to get somewhere I've never been. I simply follow the instructions from one move to the next, trusting that eventually I will get to where I'm supposed to go, as long as I take the next logical direction. Leaders who adapt to this mindset are better equipped to guide their teams through turbulent times. Your teams are more often than not looking to you as a leader for steadiness and direction. Communication is the lifeline during times of change. Leaders should be transparent about the situation, share the vision for the future, and actively listen to their team members' concerns and ideas. It's crucial to create an environment where open dialogue thrives. During times of change, if we don't have all the answers, I often say, hey guys, I don't have all the answers, but this is what I know. And with what I know, I am somewhat confident, and therefore they can lean on me and trust that I will, 1, tell them what I do know, and 2, like a GPS, let them know what our next move is. Empathy and support is imperative. Show empathy and support for your team. Understand that change can be unsettling, and individuals may react differently. The change curve shows how well people adapt to change. Majority of the curve illustrates that people fall into one of 5 to 6 different sections on the change bell curve. About 2.5% of people are innovators, meaning they're likely the ones who have been wanting to see change. They thrive in times of change. Think of these people as the ones standing outside the Apple Store on release day. Then you have 13.5% of people who are known as early adopters. While they may not be eager for the change, they're ready to embrace it. They may not be in line on release day, but they're the ones ordering the phones or the device within a week or two. Then there's the first 34% of people, and these people are considered the early majority. They are comfortable with change, but need some sort of proof that it's beneficial. They likely bought the second version of the Apple product. The second 34% is considered the late majority. They're the skeptical ones and tend to want to observe the change from a safe distance. In the Apple example, they wouldn't buy until version 5 or 6. And the last two sections, depending on the illustrator, they're combined for 16%, which can be broken down into 13.5 and 2.5. And they are considered the laggards, the saboteurs. They run the risk of never adopting anything new. They like how things are, and at times may refuse the change, and may even work against the change. But here are some helpful tips on how to utilize each group in the bell curve to gain the positive momentum needed to get through the change curve quickly. Your ambassadors are your innovators and early adopters. They are likely your higher potential team members and helpful as service workshop leaders and change agents, encouraging those who do not yet see how the change is important. Then you have your supporters, earlier referenced as your early adopters. They can be nurtured into becoming strong advocates across the organization or the department. Give them the proven tools and let them help make the change themselves. Next, you have your neutral team members. They need to be persuaded mainly by peer pressure and the fear of being left out. You'd use the first two groups to help communicate the successes and urge them to do the same. You'll need this group to embrace the change in order to influence the next group. The last group are your laggards, aka the defectors or the adversaries. It's known that they will be the last to embrace the change. However, you also don't want to neglect this group, as they can slow the change simply by being stuck in traditional ways. Through working with each group and gaining momentum at each phase, it's important to be there and offer guidance, provide resources, and most importantly, be a pillar of emotional support for all team members. Leaders must be adaptable and flexible. In the face of change, you might need to pivot quickly and adjust strategies. During times of change, employees expect the executive leaders to have all the answers. But the truth is, they're in the same boat as the rest, perhaps with a little bit more information. But understand that they too are going through a trial and error period. A rigid approach can hinder progress, while flexibility promotes resilience. Learning from change. Change and uncertainty can offer valuable lessons. Encourage your team to reflect on the experience and identify areas of growth. Emphasize that learning from challenges is a significant part of leadership development. Something many organizations miss is documenting what the learnings from that change was, using it as a point of reference next time there's a similar change happening. While team members can tap back into their memory banks, it's much easier to have documentation, especially when everything is still fresh in the mind. Businesses move at such a fast pace, it's hard to remember what happened 12 plus months ago. I can remember navigating through COVID. I was leading a team of about 185 operation employees, and it was scary at times. COVID reminded us just how much control we don't have. I use the tools mentioned in this podcast and in our blog to help the department continue to be successful through layoffs, rehires, and increase in volume. Many of us leaders began to burn out during this time of isolation and extreme structure. It was important for us to start filling our own cup prior to coming into the office every day, because once you got to the office, it was a continuous outpour into our teams. They needed to see their leaders show up, be vulnerable and confident at the same time, and not to mention give them the insight about what direction we're going in, even when we didn't know. There were a lot of dark days, some of the darkest in my career, but having come out on the other side, I know that I and the entire team that I led are better for it. Building a resilient culture that thrives in uncertainty is a long-term goal. It starts with consistent leadership behaviors, open communication, and a shared commitment to adaptability. There's a link in the show notes to our blog about navigating through change and uncertainty, where we discuss strategies to use, along with an image of that change bell curve we mentioned earlier. As we wrap up today's episode, remember that leadership from the heart means leading with empathy, authenticity, and resilience. Navigating change and uncertainty is not just about problem solving. It's about leading with compassion and helping your team thrive through the challenges. Thank you for joining us on this journey of leadership from the heart. We hope you found today's episode insightful and valuable. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences, please reach out to us. Until next time, lead with your heart, and may your leadership journey be both transformative and fulfilling. Thank you for joining us on another insightful episode of Leadership from the Heart. We hope that you've gained valuable tools and inspiration to transform your leadership approach and create lasting impact within your organization. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more aspiring leaders like you. Remember, leadership is a journey and one that we're all on together. So until next time, lead with purpose, lead with empathy, and lead from your heart. This is Romie signing off, reminding you that your leadership has the power to shape a brighter future for all.